My friends, I want to share something with you today. Something powerful. Something that can turn your life around in just 6 months. Now I know that sounds bold, but stay with me, because this is not about magic, it's about decisions, discipline, and direction. You see, 6 months is not a long time, but it's long enough to change everything, if you make it count. You can transform your habits, your income, your body, your confidence, even your future, in just 6 months. But here's the key, you have to decide that the next 6 months will not look like the last 6 months. Most people drift. They wake up every day with no plan, no purpose, just hoping life will get better on its own. But my mentor once told me, hope is not a strategy, and he was right. If you want change, you need a plan, and that plan begins today. Maybe you've been struggling financially. Maybe you've been lazy with your health. Maybe you've been wasting hours scrolling through social media, comparing your life to others. Well, my friends, the next 6 months are your chance to take back control. Start small, but start strong. Wake up 1 hour earlier, read 10 pages of a good book, move your body for 30 minutes, write down your goals every single morning. It may sound simple, but success is always simple. It's just not easy. You don't need to do something dramatic. You just need to stay consistent, because consistency compounds. Do you know what happens when a small improvement repeats every day for 6 months? It changes the entire direction of your life. Let me tell you something my mentor once said. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. And he was right. You'll never regret being disciplined, but you'll always regret the time you wasted, the chances you ignored, the potential you buried under excuses. So I'm challenging you, for the next 6 months, to live differently. Stop saying someday, and start saying today. Stop blaming others, and take full responsibility. Stop waiting for motivation, and start moving through discipline. Because the truth is, 6 months of focus can put you 5 years ahead of the average person. Think about that. While they're distracted, you're developing. While they're complaining, you're creating. While they're sleeping on their dreams, you're building yours. And 6 months from now, you'll look back and realize you were capable of far more than you ever believed. But it starts now. If this message speaks to you, if something inside you is saying yes, it's time, I want you to write it in the comments. Tell the world, tell yourself, my 6-month transformation begins today. Because when you make that declaration, you draw a line between who you were and who you're becoming. And before I close, remember this, your habits shape your destiny. Your time is your most valuable currency, and your discipline will determine your freedom. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's spread this message of growth, focus, and transformation to the entire world. Because someone out there needs to hear this, just like you did today. Now go make these next 6 months the most powerful months of your life. Now my friends, listen carefully, because from this point on, every single action you take will be intentional. No more drifting through the day. No more doing things just because that's what you've always done. When you move with purpose. When you speak with direction. When you rest, even that rest will have meaning. See, most people live by default, not by design. They wake up, and they just react. They react to messages, to problems, to whatever life throws at them. But successful people, they don't react. They respond. They wake up with a plan, a vision, a reason. You've got to become that kind of person. Someone who doesn't just move because the world is moving, but someone who moves because he's going somewhere. Every time you pick up your phone, ask yourself, is this moving me closer to my goals, or pulling me further away? Every conversation, every meal, every late night scroll, it all matters, because everything you do adds up to who you become. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you're driving a car with your eyes closed, even for a few seconds. What happens? You drift off the road, maybe hit something, maybe hurt yourself. That's what happens when you live without intention. Most people, they're not bad people, they're just driving through life with their eyes half open. And then they wonder why they keep crashing into disappointment. But you're choosing something different. You're choosing to open your eyes wide, to drive with purpose, to steer your life where it needs to go. Now, let's talk about your time. Time is like currency, and every minute you spend is a trade you can never undo. So spend it wisely. Don't waste your time on people who drain you. Don't waste your time on gossip or endless complaining. Invest it in your growth, in your peace, in your dreams. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who has to live with the result of your decisions. I once heard someone say, you can't hire someone else to do your push-ups for you. And that's true. You can't delegate your growth. You can't outsource your purpose. You've got to do your own work, in your own time, with your own 2 hands. And listen, every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're building a muscle. Every time you choose silence over gossip, you're protecting your peace. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you're stepping closer to freedom. So from now on, let every action be a reflection of who you want to become. not who you used to be. You're no longer that old version of yourself. You've upgraded. You've evolved. When you walk into a room, walk like someone who has a mission. When you speak, speak like someone who knows where they're going. When you rest, rest like someone who's earned it. Now the next phase of this 6-month plan is not just about what you do, but about who you become while you're doing it. Because discipline without direction is wasted, and intention without action is just daydreaming. So today, make this your moment of truth. Write it in the comments. Say it out loud. From this day forward, every action I take will be intentional. Every move will have meaning. Because when you live with intention, you stop chasing, and you start attracting. You stop wishing, and you start working. And 6 months from now, people won't recognize you. They'll ask, what happened to you? And you'll smile, and say, I finally started living on purpose. Now friends, this is where the real test begins. Because over the next 6 months, you'll face challenges. You'll have moments when doubt sneaks in. Days when you just don't feel like moving forward. And that, my friends, is where the separation happens. Between the ones who win, and the ones who wish. See, when things get tough, most people look for a way out. They start blaming circumstances, blaming people, blaming luck. But the strong mind, it doesn't break, it doesn't complain, it doesn't waste time feeling sorry for itself. It simply keeps moving forward. That's the mindset you must develop. Nothing can stop me. Not pain, not fear, not struggle, not failure. Most people are prisoners of their own thoughts. They let negativity run the show. They feed their fears instead of their faith. They focus on problems instead of possibilities. But you're going to learn to control your mind. You'll become intentional about what you allow inside your head. When a negative thought shows up, you'll recognize it and replace it. You'll stop saying I hope I succeed, and start saying I will succeed. No more I'll try. From now on it's I will. Because here's the truth. Your mind shapes your reality. If you believe you can, you're halfway there. If you believe you're unstoppable, you are. And if you decide that nothing will stop you, then nothing will. But if you give fear a seat at the table, even for a moment, it'll start running the meeting. Weakness spreads like a virus. That's why you've got to guard your mindset like your life depends on it. Because it does. If something or someone doesn't feed your growth, it doesn't belong in your life. If people around you are constantly negative, constantly doubting, you love them but you move on. Because your mind is your battlefield. And every day you're either winning that battle or you're losing it. If your mind is weak, your results will be weak. If your mind is strong, your results will be strong. Simple equation, simple truth. So for the next 6 months, train your mind as fiercely as you train your body or your skills. Challenge yourself. Step into the uncomfortable. Do the things that scare you. Because that's where growth happens. That's where strength is built. Most people run from struggle. But remember, resistance builds strength. Easy doesn't change you. Discomfort does. So here's your assignment for the next 6 months. Seek discomfort. Chase difficulty. Do what others won't, and you'll have what others can't. And once your mind is strong, the next step is execution. Because all the knowledge, all the discipline, all the positive thinking in the world won't help if you don't take action. You see, most people overthink. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect feeling, and they wait themselves right into regret. But not you. From this moment on, you become a machine of execution. You move fast. You act now. You don't hesitate. If it needs to be done, you do it. If an opportunity appears, you grab it. If fear whispers in your ear, you move anyway. Because action kills fear. Action builds confidence. And momentum makes everything easier. The faster you move, the more ground you gain, and the more unstoppable you become. Don't slow down when you start winning. That's when you accelerate. For the next 6 months, be relentless. Eliminate hesitation. Destroy procrastination. And live in motion. That's the secret of high performers. They don't wait. They don't wish. They execute. And once you live this way, you'll never go back. You'll never again be the person who hesitates, who second guesses, who lets fear decide. You'll become someone sharp, fast, and powerful. The kind of person who makes things happen. So ask yourself right now, are you ready to execute like never before? Are you ready to push harder, move faster, and live with absolute focus? Because if you are, then the next 6 months could become the most powerful 6 months of your entire life. So ask yourself, right now, are you ready to execute like never before? Are you ready to push harder, move faster, and live with absolute focus? Because if you are, then the next 6 months could become the most powerful 6 months of your entire life. And if this message has touched you in any way, if it's given you clarity, courage, or that spark of belief you've been missing, then take a moment to let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story, your journey, your vision for the next 6 months. And while you're at it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Because every time you do, you help this message reach another person who needs to hear it. Someone who might be one decision away from turning their entire life around. Let's keep spreading wisdom, discipline, and inspiration, so together, we can help the world grow stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable.